Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so let's start. So yesterday we have already discussed the introduction to transfer, and we also discussed the difference between the heat transfer and thermodynamics. So, and also the course syllabus I have already provided to you. So now we will proceed with the first topic, which is the introduction to heat transfer, and we will also solve sample problems here. Okay, so our objectives here is to describe the three methods of heat transfer. So we have conduction, convection, and radiation, and to solve sample problems related to mechanisms of heat transfer and to differentiate heat transfer and thermodynamics. So from this study of thermodynamics, so we have learned that the energy can be transferred by interactions of a system with its surroundings. So these interactions are called work and heat. So however, in thermodynamics, it deals with the end state of the process during which an interaction occurs and provides no information concerning the nature of interaction at the time rate at which it occurs. So as I have mentioned yesterday, in heat transfer, there is involvement of time rate. So that's why the unit will be in kilojoule per seconds or kilowatt. Okay, so one of the objectives of this course is to extend thermodynamic analysis through study of the modes of heat transfer and through development of relations to calculate heat transfer rates. So to achieve this, uh, we should answer the question what is heat transfer and how heat is being transferred and why it is important to study it. Here we will also focus on thermal energy. So thermal energy is associated with translation, rotation, vibration, and electronic state of atoms and molecules that comprise matter. So it represents the cumulative effect of microscopic activities and is directly linked to the temperature of the matter. So yun, kapag once na nag-increase yung temperature, that automatically mag-increase din yung thermal energy. So yun yung focus ng ating course. So to analyze the thermal energy. And also, magkakaroon ng heat transfer. The driving force para magkaroon ng heat transfer is yun nga, yung temperature difference. So as we all know, heat is transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. So knowledge of heat transfer is integral to mechanical engineering curriculum because it equips students with skills needed to design, analyze, and optimize thermal systems and components. So kapag yung pag-aaral ng heat transfers is particularly important due to its wide range of applications. Yesterday, I think I have asked you, uh, ay, sa ibang section ata. So, tinanong kung anong area ng mechanical engineering yung gusto nyo mag-venture. Pero aside from mechanical engineering, marami ding course ang nagtitake ng heat transfer na because of its various engineering systems and process application. So yun, someday you will design systems where heat transfer is a key factor. So such as kasama dyan yung engines, cooling systems, heat exchangers. So many mechanical engineering applications like HVAC systems and refrigeration rely also on optimizing the heat transfer to improve energy efficiency. So engineers need to know how different materials conduct, insulate heat, and insulate heat to select appropriate materials for specific applications. So kaya I think I also asked you yesterday ano yung nagiging differences ng mga materials. So when it comes to heat transfer, so it is the thermal conductivity. So yung halimbawa yung wood, mas mababa yung thermal conductivity niya compared sa steel. Kaya yun yung ginagamit natin na insulation. Okay, so I think yesterday have I mentioned to you that we will apply the heat transfer problems methodology. So I think you are not new. These are not new to you. No? So i-apply natin yung methods na para sa systematic way of problem solving. So in working with heat transfer problems, you will gain a deeper appreciation for the fundamentals of the subject, and you will gain confidence in your ability to apply these fundamentals to the solution of engineering problems. So in solving problems, the use of a systematic procedure characterized by a prescribed format will be implemented. So it consists of the following steps. So ito din yung magiging format nyo ng pag-solve ng problem sets, ng quizzes, at saka ng major exam. So first is known. So after carefully reading the problem, state briefly and concisely what is known about the problem. Do not repeat the problem statement. Next is find. State briefly and concisely what must be found. Third one is schematic. So draw a schematic of the system. So if application of the conservation laws is anticipated, represent the required control surface or surfaces by dashed line on the schematic. Identify heat transfer processes by appropriately labeled arrows on the schematic. So dapat yung schematic natin is clear and contains the information required to solve the problem. Assumptions. So list all pertinent simplifying assumptions. So ano ba yung mga pwedeng assumptions? Assume that it is, for example, a steady state condition or a transient condition. So later we will define what is steady state and a steady state heat transfer and a transient heat transfer. Next is properties. Compile properly values needed for subsequent calculation and identify the source from which they are obtained. So analysis. Begin your analysis by applying appropriate conservation laws and introduce rate equation as needed. Develop the analysis as completely as possible before substituting numerical values. Perform the calculations needed to obtain the desired results. 7 is in case uh, you will require comments, it is required to have comments. So you have to discuss your results. So such a discussion may include a summary, key conclusions, a critique of the original assumption, and an interface or inference of trends obtained by performing additional what-if and parameter sensitivity calculations. Okay, so yan yung 7 na laman ng inyong solution. Yung sa properties, as I have mentioned, during exam, bibigyan na namin yung table, pwede kayo, doon din yung kukunin yung properties. So when you are working with problem sets, so i-identify niyo kung saan niyo kinuha yung mga values. Like, pwedeng from table, i-specify niyo lang kung saan table. Dun sa property table niyo kinuha mga properties. Any question dito sa heat transfer methodology? Okay. So, for uniformity, final answer shall be rounded up to 2 decimal places. So, absolute temperature, pwedeng 273, pwedeng 273.15. Any of the two. Or 273.15. Any number is accepted. So, yun. Para lang uniform sa final answer, 2 decimal places. So, as engineers, it is important that we understand the physical mechanisms which underlie the heat transfer modes. So, and that we able to use the equations that quantify the amount of energy being transferred per unit time. Okay, so as I have mentioned, meron tayong tatlong mode ng heat transfer. So we have conduction, convection, tsaka radiation. Sa conduction, ang ina-apply natin na law ay Fourier's law, wherein our equation is Qx equal Q double prime x or heat flux. So this is transfer rate per unit area, kaya heat flux. So kapag walang double prime, heat transfer lang siya. So heat transfer rate. Ito heat flux kapag may double prime. So kung nag-i-exist yung conduction when a temperature gradient exists in a stationary medium, which may be a solid or a fluid, pwede rin siya fluid basta merong direct contact. So we use the term conduction to refer to heat that will occur across the medium. So heat transfer is in a solid or stationary fluid, gas or liquid due to the random motion of its constituent atoms, molecules, and electrons. So, yun. So basta merong conduction through solid or stationary fluid, yung Fourier's law yung ating i-apply. So we have here the heat transfer rate, Q. So ito yung ating nagkaroon ng heat transfer because of changes from T1 to T2. So na-transfer yung heat. Magkaiba yung heat dito sa surface na to, sa pinaka-dulo, and then mas mataas yung temperature dito. So, ang tendency, matatransfer yung heat dito sa kabila. So, magkaroon ng conduction. So, this is through a direct contact. So, may direct contact yung conduction. So, Newton's law of cooling is... by the way, yung formula natin pala ng conduction is Q equals K dt over dtx. So, simplify natin siya. So, later, di-discuss natin kung paano i-derive yung Fourier's law. So, going back here sa ating equation. So, yun nga, ito yung equation ng Fourier's law. Q double prime x equals negative k. Yung k dito ay thermal conductivity. dT is change in temperature with respect to distance. So, yung distance, ito yung wall, let's say wall. And yung x. dT is T1 minus T2. Okay, so, yun yung Fourier's law. So, yung Fourier's law, na-develop lang siya through experiment. So, merong heated rod. So, ang ginawa ni Fourier is chinek niya kung ano yung mga directly proportional dun sa kung halimbawa yung heat transfer ba ay directly proportional sa thermal conductivity sa area, sa temperature at saka sa length. So, nagawa niya yun through heating rod. So, nalaman niya na yun nga. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng equation na uh, K delta T over L. So, dun galing siya sa experiment. Next one, for convection naman is the Newton's law of cooling yung ginagamit natin. So, Q double prime equals H. H is coefficient of heat transfer, convection coefficient of heat transfer. Mm, meron tayong values nito depending on the fluid. So, let's say water, meron siyang appropriate convection coefficient. So, when we are dealing na with convection, mas complex yung pag-calculate. Kasi, yung mismong H yung hahanapin natin dito sa convection. So, maraming pagdadaanan na equations bago makuha yung value ng H. Pero for now, given muna yung H, depende sa fluid. So, yung assumed value muna yung gagamitin natin. So, convection from a surface to a moving fluid. So, yung heat transfer ay nag-occur between surface and a moving fluid when they are at different temperature. Like this one. So, heated plate. So, may heated yung plate and then sa taas ng heated plate, may air na nag-move. So, heat transfer will occur between a surface and a moving fluid when they are at different temperature. So, heat transfer due to the combined influence of bulk and random motion of fluid over a surface. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag natural or free convection tsaka forced convection. So, when we say natural or free convection, nag-occur siya when due to random molecular motion. So, like this one, automatically magta-transfer yung heat from high temperature to low temperature due to random molecular motion. So, yung less excited na molecules, magiging excited siya kasi yung energy nung excited molecules na transfer sa kanya hanggang sa all throughout ma-transfer na yung heat dun sa yung energy, yung kinetic energy dun sa mga from high excited from excited to less excited na transfer niya yung energy. So that is due to molecular motion. So another yun yung tinatawag natin na pre-convection. So yung forced convection naman is gumagamit tayo ng mechanisms like fans and blowers. So yun yung bulk motion of fluid over a surface. So kapag merong mechanism na ginagamit, yun yung force. Madali naman siyang tandaan, force convection. Kapag walang mechanism and natural, ano lang, molecular diffusion lang, that is what we call the free or natural convection. So another mode of heat transfer is Stefan-Boltzmann equation, wherein the equation natin, from Stefan-Boltzmann law, if you can recall. So we have sigma Ts to the fourth. So Ts is temperature of the surface. So this is for black body. Yan. I think, ang radiation is matatakal natin siya weeks siguro. Ay, check natin sa syllabus. Pero last part yung radiation. Siya yung pinaka-last na mode na heat transfer na madidiscuss natin. Okay, so black body is kapag ideal yung radiation. So, 100% na na-receive yung energy coming from uh, the source. So, ang pinakaiba ng radiation sa conduction and convection is that sa radiation, wala tayong medium na ginagamit. So, natatransfer yung heat through electromagnetic wave. So, yun yung kaibahan ng radiation sa conduction and convection. Sa conduction, natatransfer yung heat through solids or stationary fluid. While sa convection naman is natatransfer from moving fluid. So sa conduction, stationary yung fluid. Sa convection, moving yung fluid. And sa radiation, yun nga, wala tayong medium. So all surfaces of finite temperature emit energy in form of electromagnetic waves. So yung absence ng intervening medium, there is a net heat transferred by radiation between two surfaces at different temperature. So energy that is emitted by the matter due to changes in electron configuration of its atoms or molecules is transported as electromagnetic waves or another term for electromagnetic waves. Photons. So yun, electromagnetic waves or photons. So conduction and convection require the presence of temperature variations in material medium. Although radiation originates from matter, heat transport does not require a material medium and occurs most efficiently in a vacuum. Okay? So, summary of heat transfer process. So, ito yung summary. So, we have conduction, convection, tsaka radiation. And then, ito yung kanyang equation, rate equation. And then, transport property. So, yesterday, we discussed that thermophysical properties. We have thermodynamics. The two thermophysical properties are thermodynamic properties and transport properties. So, yung ating thermal conductivity is considered siya as transport property or coefficient. So, yung mga pressure, temperature, density, yun yung mga thermodynamic properties. Okay? So, yung ating rate equation is, yun nga, for conduction, is negative k dT over dx. For convection, we have HTS, temperature of surface, minus temperature of the fluid, or T infinity. Yung H, ang unit niya ay watt per square meter Kelvin. Radiation is kapag ang hinahanap natin ay heat flux or watt per square meter, ang equation natin is epsilon. Sigma Ts to the fourth minus T squared to the fourth. So yung E is emissivity. Epsilon is emissivity. Which is yung value ng emissivity dito rin sa table nyo din makikita. Tapos sigma is Stefan Boltzmann constant na yung value bibigay ko later. And then Ts to the fourth or temperature ng surface to the fourth power minus T squared to the fourth power. T squared to the fourth. T is temperature ng surface. T squared is temperature ng surroundings. So, yun. Kapag naman heat transfer rate, yung kanina heat flux, watt per square meter, i-multiply lang natin ang area para makuha natin yung watts na yun. Ang Stefan Boltzmann law, value is, note na lang, no? 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8 watt per meter squared Kelvin to the fourth. Okay? May question? Walang question. So we will proceed with steady state and transient heat transfer. So when we say steady state heat transfer, so if a heat transfer is characterized by a constant specific rate of heat transfer, then it is a steady state heat transfer. So steady state heat transfer can be a conduction, convection, or radiation process. So irrespective of the modes of heat transfer, so in a steady state heat transfer, the heat flow rate remains constant at any point in time. So steady state heat transfer can be described in terms of the temperature as the variable. The temperature of the system remains constant over time in steady state heat transfer after thermal equilibrium is attained. Kapag constant yung heat transfer all throughout the surface, steady state yun. So kapag naman hindi siya constant, so merong fluctuation, yun yung tinatawag natin na transient heat transfer. So ideally, para makakapag-solve tayo ng problem, i-assume natin na steady state yung ating heat transfer. So lalagay natin siya sa assumptions. Kasi in reality, hindi naman talaga siya steady state. Nagpa-fluctuate ang rate ng heat transfer. For example, yung let's say yung wall na merong sa kabila is nasusunog, no? So nagta-transfer ang heat, ang heat ay magta-transfer by fluctuations. Parang nagta-travel yung heat ng hindi constant. So halimbawa, yung kabilang wall is 100 degrees. Siyempre may mga in reality yung mata-transfer na heat sa kabilang wall is hindi siya constant. So may changes. So, pag nagkakaroon ng fluctuations, yun yung tinatawag natin na transient heat transfer. Pero hindi tayo, medyo complicated kapag kinonsider natin yung transient heat transfer kasi mga softwares lang naman yung nakakapag-simulate nun. So dito sa heat transfer, consider natin na steady state yung ating yung ating heat transfer para mas madali siyang resolve. So constant yung ating heat transfer na i-consider dito sa pagsusolve. Okay, so let's proceed with conduction. So from Fourier's law, we have k negative k dt over dx. Dt over dx equals delta t over L. So halimbawa, meron tayong one-dimensional heat transfer by conduction. Kapag sinabing one-dimensional, isa lang yung direction natin. So, x direction lang muna. Kapag two-dimensional, meron tayong X, meron tayong Y. So, mas complicated yung pagsusolve. So, for now, we will deal only with one direction. So, the heat is transferred point from this point up to this point. So, ito yung L. So, yun yung distance ng tinravel, ay, ng distance na kinonsider from point T1 papuntang T2. So, nag-transfer ang heat from T1 papuntang T2 at a distance L. So, para ma-compute yung rate ng heat transfer, ito yung ating nagamitin na equation from Fourier's law. We have negative K dt over dx, or yung dt over dx natin is change in temperature with respect to distance. So, we have T2 minus T1 over L. And then, Q double prime x equals negative K T2 minus T1 over L. So, kaya siya naging positive K kasi binaliktad natin T1 minus T2 na tayo over L. So, yan. Either way, pwedeng negative K T2 minus T1. Ito kasing T2 is mas mababa yung value compared sa T1. Pwede rin naman na baliktarin nyo na T1 minus T2 over L. So, we have K delta T over L. Yung K is thermal conductivity. So, note that this equation provides a heat flux. Flux to heat flux. That is the rate of heat transfer per unit area. So, the heat rate by conduction Q through a plane of a whole area is then the product of the heat flux and the area. So, kung gusto niyo, kung ang pinapahanap sa inyo is, ang unit nito ay watt per square meter. No? Pero kung ang pinapahanap sa inyo ay watts lang, so kailangan yung computein yung area. So, ano ba yung area na kinoconsider? So, L times kung ano yung height ng surface. Yun yung area. Okay? Question? Okay, so let us solve sample problem. So, the wall of an industrial furnace is constructed from 0.15 meter thick clay brick having a thermal conductivity of 1.7 watt per meter Kelvin. Measurements made during steady state operations reveal temperatures of 1,400 and 1,150 K at the inner and outer surfaces respectively. So what is the rate of heat loss through a wall that is 0.5 meter by 1.2 meter on the side? So I will give you 10 minutes to solve, and then I will call someone to answer. So your timer starts now. Okay, so what is known in the problem? Yes, please.
Yung known po
Eliza.
ay yung length po is yung 0.15 meters. Then, yung K is yung 1.7 watts MK. Then, yung temperature 1 is 1,400 K. Temperature 2 is 1,150 K. And height po yung 0.5 meters and yung width po is 1.2 meters.
Okay, so what is can you also specify the required, what is required, and what are the assumptions?
Required po is yung rate of heat loss through the wall po. Tapos ang assumptions po is steady state conditions, one-dimensional conduction through the wall, that's constant thermal conductivity.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, that is correct. So our scheme will show like this. So we have a, I will maximize my screen. Yeah. So this will be your schematic. So you have a 1,400, 1,400, tama ba? 1,400. Tama, 1,400 and 1,150 mo. Tama naman yung figure. 1,400. So magka-transfer ang heat kasi yung sa kabila is 1,150 lang. So may makukumpit kayong heat rate gamit yung Fourier's law. Given yung length na 0.50 meters. Okay? So dito magta-travel yung heat natin. So yan. At distance x or l. So yung height niya ay 0.5 at saka yung width ng wall ay 1.2 meters. So isang ano lang siya, isang pisngi lang. So one dimensional lang siya. So wala pa siyang y-axis. 1D lang tayo dito muna. So direct substitution lang siya ng K delta T all over L. So ang K is what per meter Kelvin. Ang delta T mo is 1,400 minus 1,150. Kaya may 250 tayo. And then length na 0.50. So we have 2,833 watt per square meter. So yung area is, kung mapapansin nyo, yung unit na na-produce natin is in square meter. Ibig sabihin, watt per square meter, ibig sabihin siya ay heat flux. So para makompute yung heat rate, multiply lang natin ang area. So para mawala yung double prime. So area is height, which is 0.5 meter, and width na 1.2 meters. Yan, ito lang, isang pisngi lang yung kinonsider natin. So we have area of 0.5 times 1.2, which is 2,833 watt per square meter times yung area. So we have 1,700 watts. Okay? So take note na lang ng direction ng heat flow and the distinction between heat flux and heat rate. So kapag heat flux, meron tayong watt per square meter. Kapag heat rate, watts lang yung unit. Kung multiply nyo na ng area, yung heat flux. Okay, so that will be your first problems. Questions? Any questions regarding this sample? Yes?
Good morning po, sir. Ask ko lang po kung kuwari po may similar problem na ganyan in the future, kailangan pa po namin kunin separately yung yung sa Foyer's law po? Or pwedeng i-multiply na po namin agad sa area?
Sorry? Kailangan kunin.
Ano sir, kukunin pa po yung Q double prime or pwedeng diretso na pong multiply sa area?
Hindi. Pwedeng diretso na. Diretso na.
Sir, thank you po.
Kung ano yung hinahanap. Let's say, hindi naman kailangan ng heat flux. So, diretso nyo na sa heat rate na agad. So, dito, in-specify lang yung difference ng heat flux sa heat rate. So, example number 2. The heat flux is applied to the left face of a plane wall. The heat flux applied to the left face of a plane wall is 20 watt per square meter. The wall of thickness L equals 10 mm and thermal conductivity K equals 12 watt per meter Kelvin. So if the surface temperatures of the wall are measured to be 50 degrees on the left side and 30 degrees on the right side, do steady state conditions exist. So I will repeat. The heat flux that is applied to the left face of the wall is 21 watt per square meter. The wall of thickness L is 10 mm and thermal conductivity is 12 watt per meter Kelvin. If the surface of the wall are measured to be 50 degrees on the left side and 30 degrees on the right side, those steady state conditions exist. So I will give you 7 minutes to solve. Okay, so let's solve. So what is known in the problem? Yes, please. Check.
Ang mga known po ay yung heat flux po sa left side ng wall, which is 20 watts per meter square. Then yung pinaka-wall naman po, binigay din po yung length na 10 millimeter and yung thermal conductivity na 12 watts per meter Kelvin. And then yung temperature difference din po na 50 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so can you also specify the assumptions and what is required to solve?
I think po sir, kailangan po mahanap yung heat flux po ng right side and to compare it sa uh, heat flux naman po ng left side, which is yung given po.
Okay, thank you. So that's correct. So we have to prove if steady state condition exists based on the given condition. So yeah. So known yung heat flux, wall thickness, area, thermal conductivity, and surface temperature. So kailangan lang natin i-prove nga kung meron bang steady state. So pag sinabi natin steady state, dapat kung ano yung rate ng heat transfer ay sa unang side ay constant siya pagdating ng kabilang side. So let's assume that it is a steady state, one-dimensional and constant thermal conductivity. So since the heat transfer to the wall is by conduction, so the heat flux may be determined from Fourier's law. Using Fourier's law equation, we have uh, this equation, K delta T all over L. So we have Q equals 12 watt per meter Kelvin. Ito yung given na K, and ito yung kanyang K, 12 watt per meter Kelvin. Delta T is from 50 minus 30. By the way, kapag delta T ng conduction, pwedeng directly substitution. Hindi nyo siya i-convert sa Kelvin kasi same lang din naman yung difference. But if you are dealing with radiation, so hindi pwede na nakaka-degree Celsius yan kasi sa radiation, inire-raise natin sa fourth power yung temperature. So, kailangan niya siya i-convert sa Kelvin. Kapag conduction convection, pwedeng hindi na i-convert. Okay, so going back, Q equals 12 watt per meter Kelvin times delta T over L. Ang L ay 0.01 meter, which is given, I think, 10 mm. So, that's the length. So, equal siya sa 24,000 watt per square meter. So, yun yung na-complete natin na clue. So, very far yung value dun sa given kanina na 20 watt per square meter. So, yung left face ng wall is 20 watt per square meter lang. Pero pagdating dun sa dulo, naging 24,000. So, hindi siya steady state. So, it is not steady state since the heat flux given on one side is 20 watt per square meter. So, para ma-verify natin kung paano siya magiging steady state condition, i-check natin how the temperature difference should be. So, solve for delta T. So, delta T equals Q double prime L over K. So, ni-rearrange lang natin yung equation ng Fourier's. And so, we have 20 watt per square meter times L, which is 0.01 multiplied, over K ito. Over K. Over 12 watt per meter Kelvin. So, dapat yung magiging delta T mo ay 0.0167 Kelvin. Hindi siya dapat 50 minus 30. Dapat ay 0.0167 Kelvin or yun, degree Celsius. Any question? Nagets ba yung ating conduction? Okay, so let's move on with okay. So, convection. Introduction lang muna tayo sa convection. So, magpo-focus tayo sa conduction after man natin ma-introduce lahat ng mga mode of heat transfer. So, introduction lang muna tayo sa convection at sa radiation bago tayo bumalik ulit sa conduction. So, yun. Mas detail na yung magiging discussion natin sa conduction. So, the convection, moving forward, convection heat transfer mode is comprised of two mechanisms. So, in addition to energy transfer due to random molecular motion or diffusion, energy is also transferred by the bulk or macroscopic motion of the fluid. So, yun nga, as I have said, meron tayong natural at saka forced convection. Yung natural ay random molecular motion or diffusion. Yun namang bulk or macroscopic motion of the fluid ay yun yung force. Gumagamit tayo ng fans blowers. So let's say we have here a heated surface. So ito yung flat plate no na heated. Heated siya. So anong tendency ng heat dito sa flat surface? Magta-transfer siya papunta sa moving fluid. So ito yung concept ng convection. Nagta-travel yung heat from heated surface going to moving fluid. So yung fluid can either be liquid or air or gas. So we have yung consequence ng fluid surface interaction. Halimbawa, may dumaan dito na fluid, let's say air, dito sa heated surface. Ang tendency is magkaroon ng region in the fluid through which the velocity varies from 0 to infinity. So, once na merong fluid na dumaan sa heated surface, nagkakaroon ng boundary tayo dito, nagkakaroon ng region known as the hydrodynamic or velocity boundary layer. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung velocity distribution ay nagbabago from yung pinakamalapit sa flat plate, ang tendency ng fluid, yung behavior ng fluid is yan, mahina muna yung velocity. Then habang lumalayo siya dito sa flat plate, tumataas yung velocity. So ito yung nakikita niyo sa figure is velocity distribution. Yan. Velocity distribution. Okay, so as it passes through the flat plate, yan. As it moves along away from the flat plate, bumibilis yung speed. Ang tawag natin dito ay hydrodynamic or velocity boundary layer. So moreover, if the surface of the flow temperature is deeper, there will be a region of the fluid through which the temperature varies from Ts at y equals 0 and to T infinity. So ito naman, aside from velocity distribution boundary layer, or velocity boundary layer or hydrodynamic, meron pa tayo kapag ang focus naman natin ay temperature, dito ang focus natin velocity sa velocity boundary layer. So in terms naman ng temperature, kapag nagbago yung flow temperature from region of at Ts equals 0 to T infinity, and ito naman yung nagiging behavior ng temperature. So, in temperature distribution, so nagkakaroon tayo ng thermal boundary layer. So, maybe smaller or larger of the same size as that through which the velocity varies in case Ts is greater than T infinity. So convection heat transfer will occur from the surface to the outer flow. Ayan. So, kung mapapansin nyo, mas mataas yung temperature dito sa surface. Pag malapit sa surface, then habang lumalayo, bumababa yung temperature distribution. So, lumalayo siya. So, ito yung pinakamataas na temperature ng surface. And then, bumababa siya pagdating dito sa fluid. Because of molecular uh, differences. So, kapag nasa solid, mas dikit-dikit yung molecules. So, mas mataas yung rate ng heat, ng transfer ng heat. So, compared sa fluid, which is hiwa-hiwalay yung molecules. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng temperature distribution. So, sa velocity naman, we have velocity boundary layer or hydrodynamic. So, convection heat transfer processes can either be yung force convection. So, gumagamit tayo ng fans and blowers. Yan. So, pwede naman siyang buoyancy driven or nagkakaroon ng natural convection. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng transfer of heat due to molecular diffusion. Natatransfer yung heat from less energetic, yung less energetic nagiging high energetic. So, eventually, matatransfer na yung heat. So, kapag yung molecules ay mayroong kinetic energy, natatransfer niya yung energy niya dun sa less energetic. So, hanggang sa ma-transfer niya na all throughout the molecules of considered. So, yun yung natural convection. Yung letter C is boiling. So, part din siya ng convection. So, parang ano lang din yung boiling. Parang natural convection lang din. Kasi nga, nagtatransfer yung heat through molecular diffusion. Density difference. So, yun. And then, condensation. So, yung condensation is also part of convection. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng water droplets. Kapag yung ating cold water ay kapag merong difference in temperature, nagkakaroon tayo ng water droplets. May nabubuo tayong water droplets, nagko-condense. Let's say, kapag yung heat ay na-transfer sa surrounding air, so nagkakaroon ng condensation. Nagkakaroon tayo ng moist air. So, ito yung 4 na types ng convection heat transfer process. Una yung force, second is natural convection, also yung boiling, and then condensation. So, regardless of the nature of the convection process, the property rate equation is Q equals HTS minus T infinity. Ts is temperature ng surface, T infinity is temperature ng fluid. H is convection heat transfer coefficient. Okay. Questions sa convection. Yung convection ay sa finals na madi-discuss. Yung midterm natin ay hanggang 2-dimensional conduction heat transfer. Okay, so radiation is emitted by the surface, originates from thermal energy of matter bounded by the surface, and the rate at which energy is released per unit area or watt per square meter is termed as the surface emissive power E. So there is an upper limit to emissive power which is prescribed by the Stefan-Boltzmann law. Yung makikita nyo equation dito is EB is a B equals sigma Ts to the fourth, which is what we call the black body. So ideal, wala pa siyang emissivity. Ibig sabihin, yung surface niya is ideal. Kung ano yung 100% na-absorb niya yung heat through radiation. So Ts is absolute temperature. So we have to convert the temperature into Kelvin because nire-raise natin siya sa fourth power. So sigma is the Stefan-Boltzmann constant. 5.67, this will be our uniform value. 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8 watt per meter squared Kelvin to the fourth. So heat flux emitted by real surface is less than that of the black body at the same temperature and is given by, so sigma emissivity Ts to the fourth. Kapag real surface na, meron na tayong emissivity. May value na. Para siyang factor na multiply natin. So for example, para siyang heat loss o parang ganun siya i-translate. So basta ano siya, kapag hindi siya ideal, so maglalagay tayo ng factor para sa real surface. This is radiation exchange. So let's say we have a heated surface. Sa heated surface, meron tayong convection when kapag meron fluid or gas na nag-move sa above the heated surface. At the same time, may electromagnetic wave tayo dyan na develop. So yun yung, meron din siyang radiation kasi may electromagnetic wave. So wala siyang medium pero may electromagnetic wave, so there is a radiation. So also, may na-receive siya, let's say may source tayo dito, let's say sun, yung source natin. Meron siyang irradiation, nakaka-receive siya ng energy galing sa sun, at the same time, nag-iibit siya ng energy through electromagnetic wave. So meron tayong isang source dito na sun. Ito naman, heated siya talaga. Heated surface talaga siya. So mag-i-emit siya ng radiation. So yung G is yung absorb natin, absorptivity. Galing sa source, external source. Pwedeng sun, pwedeng another flame, or something. So this is radiation exchange at yung A is at the surface. Yung B naman is between a surface and large surroundings. So this is your surroundings. So this is your surface. So we have here, meron tayong convection dyan, saka radiation. So nagkaka-radiation and convection. So same lang nito. Kaso ito ay sa surface lang, ito ay large surroundings. Dito wala siyang heat, wala siyang source. Heat source, dito meron. Kaya meron siyang absorptivity. So radiation may also be incident on a surface from its surroundings. So the radiation may originate from a special source such as the sun, or from other surfaces to which the surface of interest is exposed. So irrespective of the source, we designate the rate at which polarization is incident on unit area of the surface as irradiation G. So yung G, yun yung na-receive na radiation of object. So a portion or all of the irradiation may be absorbed by the surface thereby increasing the thermal energy of the material. So kapag mayroon tayong na-absorb na yung material ay may na-absorb na energy, let's say galing sa sun, mas tumataas yung rate ng heat transfer dito. Tumataas yung thermal energy nitong nitong plate surface natin kasi meron pa siya nare-receive na energy galing sa sun. At the same time, meron siyang heat energy na dito. So, yeah. Yung rate at which radiant energy is absorbed per unit surface area may be evaluated from knowledge of a surface radiative property termed as absorptivity, that is, G-abs is alpha G. Alpha is our absorptivity. So kapag zero, ay alpha is greater than or equal to 0 but less than or equal to 1. So if alpha is less than 1, the surface is opaque. So portion of irradiation are reflected. So if the surface is transparent, portion of irradiation may be transmitted. So kapag irradiation, ito yung equation na alpha G. Okay, so if the surface is assumed to be 1 for which alpha equals emissivity or gray surface, the net rate of radiation transfer from the surface expressed per unit of the surface is Q double prime rad equals Q over A equals emissivity times yung ating energy times Ts minus alpha G equals emissivity sigma Ts to the fourth minus T squared to the fourth. Okay, so bale, ang nangyayari dito is, ito yung ating equation kapag gray surface. Kapag gray surface, ibig sabihin, yung emissivity is equal to absorptivity. So, meron tayo dito kanina na radiation, ma-minus lang natin yung irradiation. So, yung na-absorb, isusubtract natin doon sa nire-release na radiation. So, yung net niya is ito. Yung equation niya. Dito siya galing. So, ito yung equation for gray surface. So, Ts to the fourth minus T squared to the fourth. So, ibig sabihin, total na to na net na radiation na to, na subtract na yung na-absorb na radiation. So, this expression provides the difference between thermal energy that is released due to radiation emission and gain due to radiation absorption. So, for many applications, it is convenient to express the net radiation heat exchange in the form of, okay, so para if ang given ay given yung HR or yung ating radiation heat transfer coefficient, kapag HR yung given, pwedeng gamitin itong formula na to. Ito yung original na formula. Yan. So, pero may isa pa tayong formula ng radiation, which is itong equation 1.8. So, Q rad equals HR. Para siyang pinarehas sa yung format ng equation is parehas lang sa convection. We have HA delta T. So, dito, ang pinakaiba lang nila is yung temperature na kinoconsider. Sa convection, temperature ng fluid. Dito, temperature ng surroundings. So, yan. Temperature ng surface minus temperature ng surroundings. Tapos yung HR, yung nag-iba din sila. So, yung HR ay galing dito sa equation na to. Emissivity times sigma, Stephen Boltzmann, Ts plus T sur, Ts squared plus T sur squared. So, kaya meron tayong HR. Pag sinubstitute nyo dito, yan. Usually, ginagamit natin itong equation na to kapag given yung value ng HR or radiation heat transfer coefficient. So, pag hindi given, gagamitin natin yung original equation na may Stephen Boltzmann constant na 5.67 times 10 to the kalimutan ko. 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8 watt per meter Kelvin raised to the fourth. Yan. kapag hindi given yung convection coefficient. Ay, radiation coefficient, sorry. Yung HR, pag hindi given. So, balik tayo dito sa equation ng radiation by Stephen Boltzmann. Okay, so example number 3. So, sagutan nyo na lang to sa bahay nyo. So, an insulated steam pipe passes through a room in which the air and walls are at 25 degrees Celsius. So, the outside diameter of the pipe is 70 mm and its surface temperature and emissivity are 200 and 0.8 respectively. What are the surface emissive power and irradiation? So, if the coefficient of associated with pre-convection heat transfer from surface to air is 15 watt per square meter Kelvin, what is the rate of heat loss from the surface per unit length of pipe? Okay, so sagutan natin, may 3 minutes pa tayo, no? So, noon yung insulated pipe of prescribed diameter. Meron daw tayo uninsulated pipe. Yan. Uninsulated pipe. So, ito yung schematic. May uninsulated pipe tayo. So, yung pipe ay heated. So, magta-transfer siya ng heat going outside. So, may radiation tayo. At the same time, mainit yung loob ng room. So, mayroong irradiation na nare-receive tayo. So, meron tayong air na nagpo-flow, kaya may convection. Tapos may convection coefficient din na binigay na 15. Given ang diameter na 70. Given yung surface ng pipe na 200 at saka emissivity na 0.8. Given ang temperature ng surrounding. So, lahat halos given na, no? So, ang hinahanap ay surface emissive power and irradiation tsaka pipe heat loss per unit length. So, yun. Apply nyo lang yung equation ng Stephen Boltzmann. So, para makuha nyo yung amount ng energy o yung surface emissive power E. Ito yung hinahanap yung surface emissive power, which is E. So, ito yung formula, sigma Ts, MCBT sigma Ts to the fourth. So, directly substitution lang siya. We have 270 watt per square meter. Yung temperature, i-raise nyo sa fourth power. Yung 200 plus 273 raised to the fourth power. So, and then yung G is, ito naman yung equation natin nuro kanina, sigma T squared to the fourth. So, we have 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8. Yung temperature ng surroundings nyo is 25, kaya 298. So, we have 447 watt per square meter. Okay, so meron na tayong E at saka G. And then yung heat loss is HA delta T lang siya. Yung convection, HA delta T plus radiation, E sigma Ts to the fourth minus T squared to the fourth. Yun yung heat loss. I-add nyo lang yung convection at radiation. Then you will calculate 998 watt per meter. So, paki-review na lang to. Kita ulit tayo next meeting. Thank you.